So after seeing a clip from the Joe Rogan experience recently where they talked about how taking CBD oil gave them some of the best sleep they ever had, I wanted to find out if the claim was true. Not only that, I wanted to see if there were some other things that I could do to improve my sleep. After all, sleep is super important. It's just as important as working out regularly and having a healthy diet. It can help prevent diseases like heart disease and diabetes. It boosts your immune system, and getting a good night's sleep can even help you from gaining some weight. By the end of this experiment, I discovered several things, and I actually wound up getting the best week of sleep I've probably gotten in over a decade. So without further ado, let's get to the experiment.
First, I needed to establish a baseline for what my sleep currently looked like. I used my Fitbit to track my sleep, which gave me a ton of detailed information about what was happening during the night. So for the first week, I didn't change anything regarding my sleeping habits, and here's what I determined. I slept an average of 7 hours and 43 minutes a night. During this time, I was awake or tossing and turning, on average about 40 minutes each night. I was in REM sleep for an average of 1 hour and 44 minutes. Now, if you're not familiar with REM sleep, it stands for rapid eye movement sleep. When you're in this stage, you tend to have the most vivid dreams. So during REM sleep, your muscles, with the exception of your eye muscles and your diaphragm, which controls your breathing, basically go offline, and this is to prevent you from acting out your dreams. Your brain, however, is very active during this time. It's processing information, storing memories, and helping you learn from this information. The average person gets about 90 minutes of REM sleep at night, and it makes up about 20 to 25% of your total sleep. For me, it comprised of 22.5% of my sleep. During this week, I averaged 3 hours and 42 minutes of light sleep. During light sleep, your muscles start to relax, your heart rate lowers, and so does your breathing. During this stage, you can easily be woken up, and light sleep makes up about 50 to 60% of your total sleep. For me, it was 48% of my total sleep. When it came to deep sleep, I got an average of 1 hour and 36 minutes a night. Deep sleep is very important because this is when a lot of repairs happen to the body. Your muscle and bones grow and repair themselves, your immune system is strengthened, and the average adult gets about 1 to 2 hours of deep sleep a night. For me, I fell right in the middle of that, and my deep sleep made up 21% of my overall sleep total. Some other things to note, my heart rate averaged 60.43 beats per minute, and my average Fitbit sleep score was 81.85. Just for reference, Fitbit sleep scores are calculated by taking into account the duration of your sleep, how much deep sleep and REM sleep you got, and your heart rate and your restlessness. Most people get a score between 72 and 83. For the next week, I decided I would apply some lavender oil to my beard and on my chest. Lavender oil has been shown to increase your slow wave sleep. Of everything that I tried in the experiment, I can confidently say that wearing lavender oil helped me to fall asleep much faster than I normally would. With lavender oil, I noticed improvements in nearly every single category. I was awake less during the night from tossing and turning by on average 2.5 minutes. I got 3 more minutes of REM sleep and 8 more minutes of deep sleep. My average heart rate lowered to 59.4 beats per minute. My Fitbit sleep score was exactly the same for the week as a baseline, despite the fact that I physically slept 10 minutes less per night. Week 3 was the week that I decided to test CBD only. Each night I would take 100 milligrams of CBD. I took the CBD orally, and I used both CBD gummies and CBD oil. The results were great with both, and the improvements to my sleep were even more noticeable. With CBD, I was awake over 5 minutes less per night from tossing and turning compared to my baseline. I averaged over 6 more minutes of REM sleep each night, and my deep sleep percentages were nearly identical to my baseline week, as well as my heart rate. My average Fitbit score for the week increased to 83.14 despite sleeping 10 minutes less per night compared to my baseline. Week 4, I tested melatonin only. Melatonin is something that's created naturally in the human body to help you fall asleep, but it can also be taken as a supplement. For this experiment, I took 5 milligrams each night. Melatonin again provided me with some noticeable benefits. I was awake during the night, tossing and turning 3 minutes less each night. My REM sleep rose dramatically to an average of 2 hours each night, which accounted for 26.5% of my total sleep. My deep sleep was down slightly, and my heart rate averaged 60 beats per minute. My average Fitbit sleep score was 82.6 for the week. So I noticed improvements in different areas in all 3 sleep aids that I tried. All 3 reduced the amount of time that I was restless during the night. Lavender helped me fall asleep faster and increase my REM sleep, and it gave me the highest percentage of deep sleep and lowered my heart rate the most overall. CBD gave me the best overall quality of sleep and helped me to toss and turn the least. And melatonin gave me the most REM sleep. All three on their own were solid, but what if I combined all three? This is precisely what I did on week 5, which gave me probably the best sleep for the week that I've had in over a decade. Before going into this week, I examined all of my sleep data, and I made one slight change. I noticed each night I would have to get up and go to the bathroom. This increased the time I spent awake during the night by a considerable amount. So in order to try to reduce this, I tried to stop drinking liquids after 5 p.m. This did indeed prevent me from having to get up to pee most nights. So here were the results using the lavender oil, CBD, and melatonin combined. I was awake 13 minutes less per night when compared to my normal sleep. I got 26 more minutes per night of REM sleep. My light sleep was down by an average of 36 minutes per night, which is great because this is the sleep where you're easily woken, so these minutes went towards other more important areas of sleep like REM and deep sleep. I got 17 more minutes of deep sleep per night on average. This is valuable time that impacts many aspects of your overall health. My heart rate was lowered by 2 beats per minute, which means I was more relaxed. And my Fitbit score, which is an indication of the quality of sleep I had, rose dramatically from 81.5 to 85.7.
So the claims about CBD oil and sleep were definitely true. And I found that you can actually improve your sleep even more by adding lavender and melatonin to your CBD. I can tell you this week was one of the best weeks of sleep I've ever had in my life. I fell asleep faster, my quality of sleep was much better, and I woke up feeling refreshed, and I could feel it all throughout the day. Well guys, that's all I have for you in this one. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one.